Whoa. Well, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, the Q&A is back after a long break. And yes, I don't have my stuff with me here. It's daytime and all that, so fine, we'll just go on with it. So yes, after a whole 1 year and literally 3 months later, we are finally done. We're finally done with the series of Lord through houses. And you know, from you guys to the generation in future, we'll get to learn a lot about, you know, what Lord through houses do and what they stand for. You know, it's not you know, something useless. It's something very, very important, because you understand how the energy of one house affects the other house. That's what it is, you know. So I mean, this is, you know, it's an important thing, because all these energies of different houses, you know, affect how you behave regarding a certain house. So no matter who says if it's not important, well, they're completely wrong. So anyway, today we're going to do our Q&A, but before we do that, we gotta announce our next series as to what is gonna happen next. Should we announce it? Should we announce it, fatty? Huh, little baby boy?
Dinda dinda, dinda dinda, dinda dinda, dinda dinda. Rum pum pum rum pum pum rum pum pum rum pum rum pum pum rum pum pum rum pum 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 rum pum 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 rum pum pum pum.
ए जी ओ जी, ए जी ओ जी, लो जी सुनो जी, मैं हूँ मन मौजी, करता हूँ मैं वो जो तुम भी करो जी। 1 2 का 4 4 2 का 1, my name is लखन, my name is लखन, सजनों का सजन मेरा नाम है लखन। ए जी ओ जी, लो जी सुनो जी, मैं हूँ मन मौजी, करता हूँ मैं वो जो तुम भी करो जी। 1 2 का 4 4 2 का 1,
My name is लखन, my name is लखन, सजनों का सजन मेरा नाम है लख। Okay, whatever. I can dance. So, ladies and gentlemen, the next series. The next series is, yes, some of you kind of guessed it. It's on padhas of the moon. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go through padhas of the moon. Moon in Pada 1, Pada 2, Pada 3, Pada 4 of each nakshatra. So for all the new people, let me tell you what this is about. So on my channel, you would see a series called Moon Through Signs. Moon in Aries, Moon in Taurus, Gemini, you know, Cancer. But then I also did Moon in Nakshatras, because each zodiac sign is divided into 2.5 parts. So in Aries, your moon sign, the way you think, could be in the nakshatra of Ashwani, like 1,000 physicians. You have a very keen anticipation towards other people's illnesses, diseases, helping people, curing people. Or your moon could be in this section of Bhrani, ruled by Venus, where you get the responsibility of the world. You bear the world like your child, because that's what Bhrani nakshatra is. Or you could be the Kritaka nakshatra in Aries zodiac sign, and with the moon or any other planet. And Kritaka is a nakshatra where the soul gets purified. It gets burned and you purify yourself. So this is a very, very spiritual nakshatra in the Aries section. And originally, if you know about, you know, some of the classical documents in our history, the original nakshatra kind of started from Kritika, the sun, because sun is Jiva. Sun is the light of all things. But I don't know how is it that it came down to Ketu. My uncle always explained it. I forgot. But That's how it is. However, so what happens is you watched my video of moon in Aries. Then you looked at your own section. Okay, my moon is between 0 to 13 degrees. I'm in Ashwani Nakshatra. So now you got the narrow perspective of how you think. Yet we're going to funnel it down even more to the padhas. Padha 1 person thinks different from Padha 2 person. Then Padha 2 person thinks different from Padha 3. And Padha 4 is thinking different from the rest of the padhas. That's what we're going to go through in each video. And the most important thing, about the padha, the deeper meaning of padha you want to understand is these 4 words: body, mind, soul, and life, jiva. Because padha 1 people are always willing to put their bodies online, always willing to go out and do the physical work, always go out and able to give a helping hand to person. These are the foundation of the padha 1. Padha 2 people love to think with their mind. Padha 2 people always are in their thoughts regarding whatever sign that the moon is placed in. Padha 2 people are always have this airy nature to themselves. Then Padha 3 people are these people who kind of are born with just knowing what they should be doing. Like, Padha 3 people are always like, okay, why I don't belong here? I belong in this situation. Why am I not in this situation? So you go through struggle with like everybody else, yet you just know from the beginning what kind of a life you want to know. Because soul, you were born in the section of the soul. The soul kind of told you exactly who you are. Then Padha 4 people become the people who are willing to give their life for a certain cause, or people who are willing to give themselves for a bigger or higher purpose. At the same time, Padha 4 people can also take life like a soldier would or a killer would. Padha 4 people are the people who are down to the nitty-gritty things of the reality of life. They're able to go out and face reality head on. So these are like the 4 foundations. There are a lot more details to this, which I lost this book that my uncle sent me like literally 5 years ago. It was written in half in Hindi and English, and that's where I kind of learned all these things, but it just kind of just stuck into my mind. So these are what the 4 padhas are. And so whenever you are in a certain nakshatra, you always look at the padha. I always look at the padha of your moon to see, hey, this person is really thinking like this. And that's how I know, okay, if they're thinking like this, their life direction and career is going towards these things. So that's what we're going to discuss. Okay? So let's get on with our Q&A session, and let's start a new long-ass series. So let's get started with our Q&A. The first Q&A comes from La Music. If someone has Jupiter Dasha, but their Jupiter Dasha won't happen in their lifetime, does this mean they won't get married or will not have to look at Sabdasha period? Okay, I see what you're saying, that since Jupiter is the Karka, meaning significator of your family, wealth, children, your luck, education, and gains in life, and if you don't run through, Dasha of Jupiter, let's say you were born the Saturn Mahadasha, well, does that mean you will never have this? Of course not. Jupiter does not have to necessarily come in your life in a major period. Jupiter necessarily does not even have to come in the sub-period in order for you to achieve certain aspects of life. It is the Lord of that particular house. Let's say you're looking for children. All Jupiter plays a part is, does Jupiter aspects the 5th house? From the moon, from the ascendant, from the sun. Does Jupiter aspects the 5th house or sits in the 5th house in your Saptamsha chart, the D7 chart, which is a chart related to children? And once you see this, then you see, okay, if my 5th house is ruled by the sign of Gemini, Mercury, you see when Mercury's timing is coming. When is Mercury's sub-period is coming? Or you can look for children through Putra Karka in Charadhasha. You look what Charadhasha you're running through Jaimini system. You see if the 5th house is being aspected by the Putra Karka, is Putra Karka sitting there, or is the Putra Karka in the ascendant of, or the 5th house of your chart. Once that is, you can figure out the timing and look at the transits of Jupiter and Saturn to see when exactly a child will be born. So no, you don't have to worry about marriage or anything. You're simply looking at different clues, different planetary lords. You want to see the 7th lord, not just Venus or Jupiter. The only way you want to see Venus and Jupiter is you want to see their condition. Venus is the Karka of marriage. You want to see the significator of marriage, Venus. How is it situated? Is it saying your marriage is going to be delayed? Is it saying marriage is going to be very early? Is it saying your spouse will not be as good if you married early? Or if you marry late, they will not be as good? Because sometimes I have to advise people, look, you have this time period to get married. If you get married late, then it may not be that spouse that you want. So no, that's not the case. Next one is from Mulik Sadhakar. I'm a Virgo ascendant with Sun and Mercury in the 6th house. Jupiter and Rahu in the 7th house, and in D10 I have Rahu in Taurus in the 7th house aspected by Jupiter from the ascendant. In the nakshatra of Rahu. How will this Rahu Madasha be in terms of career and marriage? You're asking a question that I can't really I can't tell you this. I don't know what exactly is going on, but just by seeing this, your Rahu Madasha will be okay. It'll be good. It'll probably take you towards doing more business than working under other people, because Rahu is a rebel. In 7th house, Rahu just wants to make deals. Rahu wants to make negotiations happen. So a lot of people who have this always go towards business in this time period. Rohit, I'm a Virgo ascendant, Venus exalted with Sun in the 12th house. I'm a Virgo ascendant with Venus exalted with Sun in the 12th. Oh, with the 12th Lord. And Mercury ascendant Lord in the 7th house. What you said about Sun in the video is something I cannot relate to. I have a very distant relation with my father. Something we don't talk for months. Maybe my Saturn is in the 3rd house, responsible for this. Okay, so you're saying your Venus is exalted with Sun in the 7th house and Mercury is in the ascendant and 10th Lord in the 7th house. Okay, I'm not getting. Look, the relationship with the father cannot just be seen through its placement. It's your 12th Lord in the 7th house. And what this is showing me, obviously, that the spouse will have a lot of ego. Spouse will be very much into traveling and going, using their imagination for their work. But with the father, I want to see what aspect Sun is receiving. Does Ketu and Rahu aspect Saturn to a close degree? Because Saturn does not aspect Sun in this type of a scenario. So I want to see that. I want to see what the situation is of the Sun in the Mancha chart. Because if Sun is badly placed in the Mancha chart, then what this shows that growing up, you finally realize your relationship with the father was not good. As much as you thought early on, it is okay, it's going well. But when you just kind of grew up, you're like, oh man, this is not good. So you got to look at all of these things. You got to see what degree Sun is in. Is Sun is moving to the 8th house in a certain chart, in a certain degree concept. Okay, so you want to look at all of these things. Let's say Abhishek Thakur, in conjunction of 6th and 8th Lord occurs. I'm a Leo ascendant, have 6th Lord Saturn closely conjunct the 8th Lord Jupiter in my 2nd house, Virgo. So how would be my remaining 5 years of Saturn Mahadasha? I'm 33 now. Look, here's the thing about 6th and 8th Lord coming together. If you go against the tide of this placement, yes, you can get hurt. This is like illnesses and hospitals and surgeries coming together in your 2nd house. Somebody in your family might get hospitalized, get sick. You might have to go to a hospital, regarding this area of your face. But if they're in good dignity, okay, which I do not know if they're in a good or bad dignity, what degrees they're in, what aspects conjunction they're having, by looking at this shows that somebody who can tremendously earn a lot of money through other people's problems, through other people's emergencies, perhaps like an insurance agent, tax agent, somebody might be in a medical profession. Because with this, if your Jupiter and Saturn are in the nakshatra of Hasta, tells me you're supposed to be making a lot of money through helping people, giving your hands to other people in emergencies. And in that case, Jupiter and Saturn are not really bad. As long as you go with the tide of their horoscope and try to go into the medical field, biomedical field, biomechanical field, where you are advising, counseling people regarding their illnesses, then it's not affecting you. But if you go towards the other side, if you're just, doing something else, not paying attention to what these planets wanting you to do, then they harm you in that way. That's all it is. People who suffer are going against the tide of their chart because they do not know the game of astrology. Once you go with the tide of your chart, okay, my chart is saying to go this way, then what happens is Jupiter and Saturn energy shifts. They say, okay, oh, he's doing this. Okay, let's just concentrate on what he's doing now. So now we don't have to give him the bad time. That's all it is. You got to learn that chess game of astrology, and you will live a happy life. Archit Permer. Here in India, there's a set of astrologers who say Jupiter is malefic for Libra ascendant, being the owner of the 3rd and 6th house, and if it gets exalted in the 10th house for Libra, then the negativity of Jupiter gets increased. Jupiter is another set of astrologers who differ and instead say that exalted Jupiter for Libra ascendant would give good results for the career and other issues related to what is the real situation. The real situation is neither of them are right. Neither of them are right. But one thing I will tell you, Jupiter is not a malefic planet for Libra ascendant. Jupiter is a mild malefic planet for Libra ascendant. You know when Jupiter becomes a real malefic for Libra to our Venus is Taurus ascendant. In Taurus ascendant, Jupiter brings great calamities. If it's not in good dignity, it can give great ups and downs with a husband or in finances, money, family. But in your case, it rules the 3rd house of media, using your hands, using your skills, and 6th house of illnesses, health, diseases, non-profit organization, working with small animals, working with unprivileged people. In the 10th house, it shows me that you need to become a counselor for a career. When it's exalted, Jupiter is at its highest dignity. And you have to see, you cannot say Jupiter is good or bad as exalted planet unless you look at the position of the moon. If moon is in the 8th house, if moon is in the 12th house, or moon is debilitated, okay, then Jupiter foundation is shaky. He will give you ups and downs. He will make you very selfish in career matters. You won't like your colleagues to progress because Jupiter becomes a very selfish planet when it's exalted. But if Jupiter is, moon is in the 6th house, guess what's happening? Parivartan yoga between Jupiter and moon. This Parivartan yoga will show that one will gain a lot through serving other people, taking care of other people, becoming this great mother, teacher, counselor to other people. So it's not a bad thing then. So you see how you have to look at the dispositor to really judge that. So all these astrologers are giving the opinion without the core matter. Now, unless they said that and you are not mentioning here, then those astrologers are probably right in there saying. Rishibha Tammy. I'm an Aquarius ascendant, moon in the 11th house, Mula Nakshatra, 10th Lord Mars in the 6th house, Cancer Sun. Okay, your question is not making sense at all. You got to make it more clear next time. Okay, so the next one is from Vidya Khan. 4 planets in the 7th house in Aries, Mercury, Venus, Sun, Mars. 9th Lord and 12th Lord Mercury is in the 7th house. Does this imply that I focus most of my energy on my marriage and networking? Yeah, your majority of your focus is to deal with communication, power struggles, and ego, and not only marriage, but with other strange people you come in contact with, your business negotiation, your business dealing. So shows that there's a lot of power that is happening here. You love dominating other people. I already see this with this. Just by looking at this, I know you're very dominating in relationships. You want to put your power on the other person, and that's where you get into power struggles with people, with really sharp language, with really sharp, you just say things without even thinking about it. Now, next one is from Red Dua. Kindly clarify my doubt. For Aries ascendant, 12th lord should be Jupiter in Pisces. For that, I have to check the 12th lord in 5th house. For example, would be possible since a single planet controls 2 houses, and Jupiter is the first, Jupiter is the lord of Sagittarius also. So should I go for 9th lord in the 5th house? And no, this is something, yeah, that's a very good question. That, hey, is it just 9th lord in the 5th house, or is it also 12th lord in the 5th house? No, it's both. What Jupiter is doing is bringing the 12th lord energy and 9th lord energy into the 5th house. It shows that your education signifies you will go towards post-grad degree, MBA, a PhD, doctorate degree. Yet, it shows that you might go to foreign lands to attain that degree, or your degree will take you towards working in behind the scenes, like a psychologist, psychiatrist, a scientist working in laboratories, hospitals, asylums. Perhaps you're a psychiatrist in jails. So the foreign energy is coming into the 5th house. You are learning things that will eventually take you towards the 12th house things. That's what it is. Obviously, there's a huge, more detailed explanation for this. It also shows you have a very spiritual relationship with the children. You love to take your children to foreign lands to educate them. All of these things are seen from that. Okay. So guys, this was my Q&A for this week because I'm very short on time. I have a lot of consultations to do, a lot of other things to do. So yeah, we'll start on this series from Monday, Tuesday, whenever I feel like next week. So be ready. So if you're new to the channel, subscribe below. And if you want to get if you want to know where your padhas are, what nakshatra your moon is in, your other planets is in, for that check out the links here and check out my full astrological report, including my books, my magazines, and all the other new options and consultation. Otherwise, we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.